Hey viewers, and welcome to another episode of Overwatch Weekly. Today I have the lovely pleasure of talking about Bastion. Bastion. I won't make it a secret that I hate Bastion. I think he's one of the worst heroes in the game, if not the worst. I wouldn't recommend him ever. He doesn't back up his team members if he's on one team. His only real benefit is the ability to kill other heroes really quickly. If he doesn't do that, then he's just useless. It's just 5v6. As for the enemy team, often when he gets a kill, it's so quick the enemy player doesn't even have a chance to react. So there's no skill that could possibly avoid the Bastion except for knowing where he's gonna be. But enough of the salty hate talk, let's start with abilities. Bastion is a defense hero. He's also got the highest damage in the game. And the main reason he is a defense hero is just because of his lack of mobility, because his primary damage form is immobile. Just to clarify one thing before I go through his abilities, I want to point out why I call the ability that's activated by pressing shift the mobility ability. For most heroes, it's the ability that it gives them speed or makes them travel the distance. And so that's why I call it the mobility ability, because on PC it's shift, but on consoles it's a different key. So in order to be agnostic between the two platforms, I'm just going to call it the mobility ability. So this is going to be the first time I use this word in the same sentence as the word Bastion, but he's actually good on attack as well. He's not just a good defense hero. If you're able to switch between your immobile form and your mobile form quickly, he can actually be great at breaking through a choke point, because you can take out a Reinhardt shield within a very short period of time. Now with Bastion, you got to expect that you're going to die a lot, because when you're doing damage, you don't move, and when you move, you're not really doing that much damage. So generally you'll be immobile doing damage, and then dying. So Bastion's primary ability is called Configuration Recon. It gets renamed based on what mode he's in. So in his normal mode, this configuration has a big machine gun, fires big bullets, but the main weakness is that it has only 20 ammo as its capacity, so you do have to reload it quite quickly. The accuracy, on the other hand, is quite high. The reticle stays quite small for a few shots and then it grows quickly, so it's good to do pulse fire. Also, it's a hit scan, which means you can actually take out a Pharah as a Bastion without even being in your turret form. So like I said before, the main balancing factor with this weapon is the clip size, which is only 20. So you're not going to get a lot of shots off. Bastion's next ability is his Reconfigure, which is what it's called. It switches his main attack from Configuration Recon, which is a big machine gun, to Configuration Sentry. This changes Bastion into his Gatling mode. So Configuration Sentry changes his primary fire into a big, powerful Gatling gun with 200 ammo, strong enough to kill most heroes in a matter of seconds. Weaker heroes in less than a second, even if they're close enough. In this mode, Bastion can output more damage than any other hero. Most ultimates will actually do more damage than Bastion's gun, but no normal attack will. So the balancing factor for this mode is that Bastion can't move, like I said before. And it does take some time to switch. It takes about 2 seconds to switch in and about half a second to switch out of Sentry mode. This makes Bastion very susceptible to high damage heroes, especially ones that can fire at long range. So snipers, high accuracy heroes like Soldier 76, but we'll get to that in the counters section. Now, you can actually pull a Bastion out of his Sentry mode. In particular, Ana, Roadhog, Sombra all have the ability to do that. Ana can sleep the Bastion, which takes him out of his turret mode. Roadhog can pull a Bastion, which also takes him out of his turret mode. And Sombra's hack will take Bastion out of his turret mode. Bastion's active ability, activated by using E on PC, is called Self-Repair. He pulls out this little arm and then it starts repairing him. This self-repair stops Bastion from moving and heals them for 75 per second. So in about 5 seconds you'd be able to fully heal yourself. Now it is interrupted by damage as well as the normal interrupts, which means that when you're playing as Bastion you'll want to first move into cover and then heal yourself. It's worth noting that you'd rather use the self-repair feature rather than use a health pack, since self-repair will actually bring you closer to your ultimate. Full heal will give you almost 10%. Bastion's ultimate is called Configuration Tank. It changes him from either recon or sentry mode into a tank mode. And what this does is it allows him to move while firing powerful explosive projectiles. It lasts for a short period of time, just enough to fire off 5 shots if you keep firing as quickly as you can. Each shot will do 205 damage on a direct hit, which is enough to kill or nearly kill most of the heroes in the game. But usually you won't be directly hitting them. This is a bit of an annoying bit with Bastion's ultimate. If you're not really hitting them closely, the damage falls off really quickly because it is an explosion, so you can shoot at the ground close to the target and still damage them, but the damage does fall off quite quickly. On that note, it's a good idea not to use your ultimate if you're going uphill, like you would be in Dorado when you're inside the room on attack, or perhaps even on Watchpoint Gibraltar when you're going uphill. Because of the explosive damage, it actually makes sense to aim more at the ground, right beneath them, so that even if you miss, you still do damage. It's also worth noting that you do get some extra armor when you switch into tank mode, so even if you're at about 50% health, you're safe to use it, because the armor will put you back up to what would normally be your full health. Bastion is not fun. Not even a little bit. Don't even play him. He's not fun at all. Alright, jokes aside, he is a little fun. Especially when you set up in a good place and they don't even notice you, and then you just pop off, kill 3 of them in a matter of 5 seconds. It's pretty satisfying. But if you were a decent human being, you wouldn't do that. Think of the number of monitors that are smashed in response to a Bastion kill. But yeah, if I'm being honest, Bastion's probably one of the more enjoyable heroes to play, if it works out. If not, then you're always dead, and that's no fun. Bastion is a bit of an enigma. He's counted by almost every hero in the game because of his lack of mobility in his damage mode, but that doesn't mean he's not going to wipe you all out. Because most teams aren't organized enough, people end up just running in front of the Bastion and dying. You need to be a bit more coordinated if you're going to take out a Bastion. First you have to figure out where he is, notify your team, and then you got to get your range damage to move in and kill him, or your close range damage to just harass him. Pharah is a pretty good counter because of her accurate rocket launcher. Sombra is also very effective. She can sneak behind him and shoot him in his squishy spot, or alternatively she can just hack him and then shoot him, because the hack pulls him out of his turret mode. Ana is also very effective because of her sleep dart, which pulls Bastion out of his turret mode. Also her grenade for anti-self healing, not that that's much of a problem, because as soon as Bastion takes damage it gets interrupted anyway. But also she's a sniper, so she can shoot him at a distance that his damage is practically useless, because Bastion's damage is very spread based. Junkrat's also a good counter because of his strong damage, and the fact that he can just pop out of cover quickly and fire off a few bombs, or even shoot them at a range and have them bounce into the Bastion. Genji's another good choice. His deflect has the ability to kill a Bastion almost instantly if he doesn't stop firing, but a good Bastion will stop firing as soon as he sees Genji deflecting, and that's where Genji gets in trouble. Because as soon as his deflect ends, Bastion can just shoot him all to hell. So if your deflect ends and the Bastion's not dead, you should either run, or you should just jump all around him so he can't target you, which is also an effective strategy for taking out a Bastion. Hanzo is great because he's both a sniper and he has a very fast firing rate, and his arrows do a fair amount of damage. Hanzo can both bob in and out of cover and shoot, or he can just shoot at range. Soldier 76 would be my choice of countering Bastion because he's such a versatile DPS, and by emptying a full clip into the Bastion plus his rockets, it's enough to kill a Bastion, or at least bring him very close to death. Now it's not all bad for Bastion players. He does actually counter some heroes. In particular, Winston, who is almost instantly killed by a Bastion because of his big surface area. He takes a lot of damage, and he doesn't really dish out enough damage to take out Bastion. Roadhog, because of his surface area once again. Also, Bastion is in a great position to survive a Roadhog pull because of his extra health. Bastion actually has 300 health, whereas most other heroes have 250 or even less. But a good Roadhog will still be able to one-shot a Bastion with a pull-shot melee combination. As long as you don't get charged, a Bastion is also in a very good position to counter a Reinhardt, because his weapons fire can take out the Reinhardt shield within a matter of seconds, and then of course Reinhardt doesn't stand a chance. Now there isn't actually that much law for a Bastion at this time. We don't know much about him, especially not personally. We know that the Bastion model was used for law enforcement before the Omnic Crisis, and that when the Omnic Crisis began, they were the primary soldiers. We know that Bastion personally fought in a forest near Eichenwald, and that there he remained forgotten for 30 years. We know that when he reawoke thanks to some irritating bird, he managed to suppress his initial combat programming and join Overwatch.
Hey guys, welcome to the new and improved end screen. I tried a bit of a different format this time with less of me and more of just a video and me as a voiceover. Let me know what you think of it in the comment section below. I also added titles in, so hopefully that'll be a bit more informative. And I was planning on talking about the Omnic Crisis, since Bastion's law is a bit sparse, but ended up going overtime. So I'm aiming for about 11-minute videos, so it's not too long. So I'll probably talk about the Omnic Crisis at a later episode sometime. And please like, subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. And hope to see you guys around. Bye.